And now we're all asking the question. Everybody's asking the same question, including myself. What time is Rosa open? That is the first day. We take ourselves back to our childhood when we used to say that all of the time. You know, when you were 6, 7, 8 years old, you kept asking every 10 minutes, is it time? Is it time? And that's what's happening today to most of us. So, brothers and sisters, it has been absolutely a very, very tiresome year that has gone by. A lot has gone on, and the list is too long to cover in this one program. So this year, from 4 to 5, you'll be listening to myself, Zahid Sheikh, and at 5 to 6, you will be with my brother Irfan. 5 to 6 every day, the drive time. So these two slots are reserved for all of you to listen in and send us your messages, send us your Ramadan Mubarak, and wish anybody you would like to Ramadan Mubarak. And we all have to work together, and we have to enjoy this festive month of Ramadan, because so many wonderful activities are lined up. And of course, every day we are going to have some guests who are all wonderful assets in the community. So today I have a wonderful guest to introduce to you, Brother Yakub Ismail. You all know Brother Yakub is the commander in Leicester East, and he's also brought together with him a colleague of his, Ranjit Sonigra, yeah? Ranjit Sonigra. Now, I've first time met Ranjit. I've never met him before, but Yakub, I've met him often enough. So, Brother Yakub, Assalamu alaikum to you.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you so much, Radio Ramadan. Thank you so much, Zed, for having me. Thank you for that very kind introduction. As you've stated, I am the police commander, the police inspector for east of the city of Leicester. I am absolutely honored to be sat here talking to the communities and everybody listening. So from me to everybody from East Leicester, from Leicestershire Police, I wish you all a very blessed, very safe, very peaceful Ramadan Kareem. We're looking forward to celebrating and taking part in Ramadan with our Muslim community. I know this is a very special month. In fact, the most special month, for the Muslim calendar. This is a month in which, we work together, to support one another, to take care of those less fortunate. It's a great month, and I'm really honored and I'm blessed to be alive during this month, and may Allah grant us all many more Ramadans. Jazakallah Zaid.
Of course, Yakub, now, how many Ramadans have you enjoyed in Leicester?
Now, I would say coming up to at least 3 decades of Ramadans in Leicester. And I must say, every year, I think Ramadan gets better. The atmosphere, the environment, the spirit of Ramadan. And when I came as a young lad from Africa, there wasn't many, there wasn't a vibrant Muslim community. There was, but now you feel the vibrancy with the Muslim shops, with the madrasas, with the after events in the mosques, with all the iftars, and the fundraising and the charity that takes place. It's grown in abundance year on year and may continue to. But over 3 decades, well, coming up to 3 decades now.
3 decades you've been in Leicester. Now, some of our younger listeners, they will not know the name Yakub Ismail. So we have to introduce you to everybody in Leicester. I'm not talking about Leicester East. I'm talking about Leicester West, South and North.
Absolutely.
Right? We want everybody to know the good work that Brother Yakub is doing here in our city. And we're very proud of him, because we need representation in every corner of our city from a diverse community. Is very important. So, Brother Yakub, you have been in Leicester in the police force for how many years now?
26 years, and I've enjoyed every day of it. I have policed across Leicester, Leicestershire and Rutland, most of my time having spent at East Leicester. But I served as a response officer responding to incidents. I did neighbourhood policing as a neighbourhood police officer, as a neighbourhood sergeant. I have worked as a custody sergeant. We have taken care of people in some of our facilities. But then I've also worked as an inspector, responding as a command inspector. I've been a neighbourhood inspector. I've worked in a strategic role in headquarters. So over the 26 years, majority of my service has been frontline. on East Leicester, and I'm really proud to have come back to be the NPA commander for East Leicester. This is where I learnt my policing, and this is where I operated and went through the different levels of my service. A place I'm very proud to come back to.
Of course, in your capacity as commander, you are working across the board with all sectors of our establishment, our institutions, all parts of the community. Yes?
Absolutely. So, as the MPA commander, I am responsible for, maintaining the confidence and trust of the people of East Leicester. The strategy set, by my senior officers, but I'm responsible for delivering it. I'm also responsible for ensuring the satisfaction, that the victims of a crime receive in the service that they get from the police, or anybody that reports an incident to the police. I'm responsible for ensuring that we keep, those who have engaged with us up to date. That we are delivering policing to a exemplary standard, and that our service is professional. So I'm responsible for maintaining the confidence and trust. Now, how we do that is we engage with our partners. We engage at all levels in society, with our young people, with our elderly, with our voluntary sector, just, so that we have got those intimate relationships. So when communities and individuals understand what we do and why we do things, that way you get elements of confidence increasing, but also it creates opportunity for questions to be asked. So if confidence has wavered or somebody has lost trust in the police, when we have the relationships we have by working together, it creates opportunities to ask questions so we can myth bust.
So there is a huge amount of engagement that we are looking to encourage throughout this month of Ramadan. I'm going to inform all our listeners, some of the callers are starting to call me and they're being naughty because they're calling me on my mobile. So if you've got to call in, please call directly on 0116 4822086. I'm going to ask our producer, is that a new number? Because 10 years ago, the number was different. So he's going to tell us if it's a new one. Of course, you can also text us on 077-488-55055. You're listening to Ramadan Radio FM, broadcasting here from Evington Road. So please do ring in, call in, ask a question, Brother Yakub. You'll be happy to answer it, yes?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Of course. Now, this month of Ramadan is one of our initiatives that we want to increase engagement with our local constabulary. From all the people that live in the community, and we have such a diverse community in the city. If I told everybody right now that call in and tell me, what is our diversity in Leicester? What do you think people are going to do? They're going to go on Google, or some of them are going to be pressing and guessing. We were at an event on Friday, and a prominent member in the community, he told me the population of the city of Leicester was about 280,000. He was only 10 years out. That was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Today the population is, so who's going to ring me first? And I'm going to give him a nice box of dates if he gets it right without looking at Uncle Google. What is the city population? Now, when we say population of Leicester, people get confused. They think we're talking about Leicester City and Leicestershire. So maybe you can put them right. How is the configuration work? Because you are commander for Leicester East.
Yeah. So, city, if you're looking at the maps, it's the boundary of Leicester City. Without looking at a map, by road definitions, if you think of the ring road that goes outside of the inner city, that is the boundaries of Leicester. So to the west, Beaumont Leys, New Parks, Braunston, to the south, Ayleston, Esmonsel, Saffron Hill, and then swinging round into Evington. So Oadby is out of the city, but as you come into Evington, we're talking of Gartree Road and inwards towards the city, and then going out all the way out to Rowletts Hill, Netherhall, Hamilton, Rushmead, Belgrave, St. Matthew's, Highfields, all that is included within the boundaries of the city.
So that is a huge area. Now, how many people are we talking about?
I mean, I don't want to spoil it for one of your potentially lucky winners, but I would say the exact population, and I use the word exact, for the city of Leicester is around 465,000, and I'm sure one of your callers will correct me if I've got that wrong.
I think you're not far away. It's exceeding 400, so that is the population of the city of Leicester. Now, just Leicester East carries how many different diversities, approximately?
Difficult to say exactly, but it is probably one of the most vibrant areas in the city of Leicester. We have communities, from as far as we've got every nationality, if you can imagine. We have Sikhs, we have Muslims, we have Jews, we have Hindus, we have those not of faith. We have, folk from the travelling community, young and old. The diversity of East Leicester is like, nothing you can imagine. I think, my colleague will correct me if I'm wrong, nearly every language spoken on earth resides within East Leicester.
So we have the A to Z of different people from different countries. Yeah. You could start A with Albania, and you could finish Z with Zaire or Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwe.
Yes? So if you went across A to Z, every country, with the B for Bangladesh, there are people here in the city of Leicester. So a bit of a homework for all of you. I know it's nearly time for iftar in another couple of hours. Is you do your own A to Z, play with the kids, and your knowledge is your power, right?
But just, speaking of engagement, so at East Leicester, what we try and do is engage with every community that resides within the boundaries of East Leicester. So we have youth engagement events through the cadets that we've got on St. Matthew's and at Hamilton. We go to gurdwaras, we go to masjids, we go to temples, we go to sports fields. We are engaging as far as wide as we can to ensure that each and every one of the communities or nationalities or A to Zs within East Leicester is engaged with. So my challenge is if any community out there wants to engage with us or wants to have a relationship with us, please contact me via my email. We would be more than happy. We would be honored to come and spend time with the communities or community groups or voluntary groups to see how we can work better together to support the community in question or the relevant community and everybody else, and how we can create cohesion between all the communities. That is what supports East Leicester to excel at some of the things we do, is that working with the different communities to understand what the issues are and to try and address them. I mean, numerous examples. For example, Spinney Hill Park, we had antisocial behavior in there. We had low-level drinking in the park. Through, the community groups, through the residents that live in that area, these issues are brought to the fore. We work with the city council, who are our strong partners. We work with the community groups, to tackle these things. But then what we try and do is go back into those communities to close the loop and inform what we have done. So, to anybody listening, please feel free to reach in. We would be honored to come out and work with you.
Of course, there is a lot of work to do, and there's... What was that? Did you hear that sound? Our producer is giving us a signal there. We all heard it. Of course. Now I'm going to tell you all that there is a lot of questions that people have been asking me to ask Yakub Ismail today. And I said, look, today is not the right day, but we will compile all these list of questions and we will tackle them outside of the radio program, because it's a short program and each question can take 30 minutes or 27 minutes to answer, right? So we won't go down that road.
But reassure your callers, keep the questions coming in.
Yeah.
Happy to compile them. I'm happy to come back and update on those questions or take those questions in another forum. But, if I don't know, I can't respond. So I welcome all questions or any feedback, for my attention.
Of course, now we talked about cohesion. It's a very, very, very dear subject to all of us here at Radio Ramadan. We are working so hard from last year and continuing this year to step up our integration and come away from the segregation. When you have so many different communities, so many people from diverse cultures, religions, you have the caste, color, creed, culture, and the different religions in the city, it makes everybody's job difficult. How do we get to know about each other, right? Doing the A to Z. Is it a difficult job or not? languages as well to deal with.
The beauty about East Leicester, I get a sense that the communities do know each other. They're building stronger relationships, and with emerging communities, over the past year, now we are finding now that stronger relationships are being built. For example, I saw the mosque at Ashby Street reaching out into nearby communities and building relationships, and vice versa. I saw a new emerging community in the Evington area reaching out to the mosques and other religions to build those relationships. So cohesion is something that we see within East Leicester. It is there, but Ramadan is a fantastic opportunity, and I see this every year, and that's why I said Ramadan gets better every year, because during Ramadan you see iftari events that invites different faiths, non-faiths, partners together into one room to break fast together, to spend a moment together and build stronger relationships. We will only get these stronger relationships when the communities themselves invite one another, open their doors to one another, break bread with one another to discuss and build friendships and relationships.
Of course, this is a unique opportunity. If you have a neighbor, share, go and talk to your neighbor, either side, and build bridges. That's what we're here to do, and we can only do that by coming together and sharing. Sharing and caring, that's what it's all about. And Brother Ranjit,
yes,
how are you today? It's your first time today at Ramadan Radio. I don't recall that I've seen you before.
Yes. First and foremost, Assalamu alaikum to every listener, and Ramadan Mubarak to everyone, to my listeners as well. Yeah, it's my first time at this station, and I'm happy to be here to answer any questions. And like I said, I've been working this area for a long time.
How long?
To be honest, since 2005.
2005. So are you Leicester born and bred, or you came from Uganda like me?
No, I came from Kenya, and my hometown was Mombasa, where I grew up. I studied in an Arabic school as well, known as Hamis Secondary School. So I'm quite very well versed with everything, because every Friday we used to have the normal Friday prayers, which I would join in every one.
Juma.
Yes, of course. And in 2005, in 2002 I came to UK, and in 2005 I joined as a special constable. And since the time I've been covering in Spinney Hill area, and I'm sure most of the locals know me here and living in Spinney Hill area in Stonygate Ward, because I'm quite known. I've walked the beat and chat with people. I speak about 7 languages.
7 languages.
Which makes it easier for people to communicate.
We're going to count now these languages and write them down. So I know that you speak Gujarati.
Gujarati.
Tajua Swahili.
Oh, kabisa.
So do you know Swahili? English, that's 3.
English, 3.
And Hindi, 4.
Punjabi. Hindi we learn through the Bollywood languages. You see, when we look at all the movies, so we learn.
So that's 4 languages. Now, what's number 5? Punjabi?
Punjabi.
Yeah. Number 6? Urdu's.
Yep.
He's doing well. We're same now. He's going to beat me now. What's number 7?
And you know something? Believe it or not, Bengali people, I communicate with them, and they've got one common language which some people don't know, and that is Hindi. They speak Hindi as well.
They speak Hindi as well. Yeah.
So sometimes when I do attend some of the location or an incidents, and when I can see they're struggling, believe it or not, when I ask them that Hindi, then when they say yes, then they become so much relaxed, comfortable.
Now, there is a man of 7 languages. He's already ahead of the game. Most people, they struggle to speak 2 languages. They speak English, and then they can't speak the second language. Their own mother tongues they struggle with because they're born and bred here. So when Brother Ranjit here is speaking 7 languages, he's ahead of the game, isn't it?
Not just ahead of the game. It's so instrumental in helping us break barriers. With the languages he speaks, with the cultural experience he brings, with the lived experiences he brings, sometimes it's a lot easier for Ranjit to open doors, to have conversations, to encourage dialogue, and then we follow where he has been. So, we're really honored to have Ranjit, with us as our PCSO. But like Ranjit, we have other officers from other communities, who are, instrumental in helping us break those cultural barriers, language barriers, community barriers, so that we have stronger relationships. And we're really honored to have Ranjit working with us.
Now, Ranjit, here when you come on Radio Ramadan, Ramadan.fm, you are working. We are all working. Now, make sure they don't cut your salary off today because you're working right this minute, both of you. Yep. So what we're going to do is we're going to engage the whole community to come and do iftar here. So all of you listening in right now, if anybody wants to host an iftar, they can invite their friends and their family, or we want you to engage with other cultures. Bring them, share with them what is Ramadan all about, and let them enjoy the spirit of Ramadan. So this
Then
is
I
an
think-
invitation open to all of you listening in. If you've got 20, we have capacity here for 20, 20, 25 we can handle. You bring them over here and we can do this. Let everybody get involved.
It's a really brilliant idea. You know, during this Ramadan, we've got a special Ramadan operation designed with the Muslim community. And what that looks like is increased engagement outside masjids, outside key locations like Evington Road, Green Lane Road. You know, we will be going to mosques once a week to engage with, the committee and the ulama, just to understand how we can work better together. But you will see an increased police officers out there on the streets, doing, police work. I encourage, invite them into your homes to break fast with you, get to know them. These police officers and community support officers are from your community. They are, of service in your community. Whilst, it is a paid job, it is their passion to take care of communities. So please invite them into your home, invite them around the table to break iftar with you, get to know them on a personal basis so they get to know you. And when we start having those sort of intimate relationships with our communities, we create a true understanding and we can support and work better together.
Of course, somebody sent me a message just now to inquire about some of the initiatives that we had kicked off last year as to how they progressed. Because each year, when we start with an initiative, it takes us almost 11 months to bring it to success. So last year, we started the LTA. Ranjit, are you familiar with the LTA?
Not that I know.
You are familiar with it, Yakub. You helped us set it off, so maybe you can share with the...
Your acronym just
No,
remind me.
LTA is Leicester Traders Association.
Right.
Now, we started this as Evington Traders Association, and very quickly we had to change because London Road, down London Road, Granby Street, many people expressed an interest to say that we want to be part of this association, Traders Association. What is the benefits? There are many collective benefits to work together. The traders, they need a voice in Leicester. So we need to engage with all of the people in the police force, in the constabulary, so we can work together on many issues that traders can discuss with you. Most of the issues you are aware of, the petty things that go on. And this month we are working very hard to increase our engagement with the local constabulary. And we can't do this without everybody coming on board. Only the traders getting involved is not going to be enough. We need the wider public of all denominations. So there are many newcomers in the city. Each year we have an influx of new people that come to the city. I don't call them refugees anymore. That word is gone out of my system. But we have people now from Iraq, Afghanistan. We have the Somali community is established here since 20 years now. So they are not new here anymore. So all of us who came here, like me, for example, in 1972 from Uganda, we have the experience and the knowledge to be able to support these new communities and help them. They went through the same journey as we did, Ranjit.
I would say, yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody is a migrant, you see, who has come to look for greener pastures and for the safety of the family. Everybody,
In fact, you know that the Prime Minister, he's a migrant as well.
It is.
And all his cabinet, a lot of members are also migrants. So we are all here for whatever reason. So we have to all work together. In the city predominantly today, the city is out of 460,000, almost 200 plus are migrants, right? Or children of migrants. So we are here now almost third generation, Yakub, from 1972. My father came here with us. Now our children, now our grandchildren. So you're crossing almost 4 generations, aren't you, in 50 years?
Absolutely. And for the police, it's so important for us to build relationships with, all communities, emerging communities, those who are recently settled in Leicester. And I just want to go back and congratulate the tenants, the Traders Association on forming, because I know that it's been something that has been in formation for a while, and it's nice that they've come together so that we can have a constructive dialogue to address some of the issues affecting the business community. On the Belgrave, we have the Belgrave Business Association, the BBA. We have a vibrant and constructive relationship with them. Often we get called before the Business Association, to update them on what we are doing in terms of visibility, in terms of engagement, and to keep them safe whilst, they're operating their businesses. And when, business locations like the Belton Road and Evington Road are safe, they become more vibrant. It increases, trade for those locations. So we have a good relationship with the Belgrave Business Association, but that formal relationship also allows the Belgrave Business Association to check in on us on behalf of their members. So say, there was a burglary at a food place on Melton Road, which there was. It was the Belgrave Business Association that became a voice as well for, that business, asking us, how the investigation was going, where we were with certain lines of inquiries, and what can be done to make the place even more safer. And then, working with the Belgrave Business Association, we designed patrol plans.
Of course, everybody listening in right now, Ranjit, is invited to send your message in or do make contact either directly with the constabulary and use this as a reference, Ramadan Radio FM, and give us your opinions, your ideas. We're here to listen. Am I right in saying that we're here to listen?
Absolutely. Nothing gives me greater joy than sitting with communities where they're in their homes. And I'm the type of, police commander that has made myself accessible. I have, been out into community meetings. I've been out into homes. I've engaged in different forums. So please share any feedback with me, any questions you have. And if I don't come back to you personally, I will ensure that, some way through our social media, Facebook or our Twitter accounts or our own single on our Leicestershire Police website, that we update you with the work that we're doing. But what I do encourage is conversation.
Of course, somebody sent me a message that, Zed, you are not dealing with the crux of the matter. He's talking about the recent riots. So I'm going to tell that listener that today is not the day I want to talk about those things, because today is the first day of Ramadan and we can make a separate forum for that collectively and deal with that particular matter. It's an ongoing matter. It's not going to go away. I know that. I appreciate that. So please try to understand that on the first day of Ramadan, I want to keep it positive. I want constructive work to be done by all of us, including the lad who has sent me this message, that we have to work together. We cannot work separately.
Just in relation to that, if I can, the disorder and the unrest that we saw in the city wasn't anything that any of our communities wanted. But from Leicestershire Police, we have continued to work with our partners and our communities and the volunteer sectors to ensure that we don't see this sort of stuff again. But I just want to reassure communities that the investigation that took place, over the disorder was conducted without fear or favor, and has had systems of checks and balances put in place to ensure that that was the case. So there has been a robust and thorough investigation from Leicestershire Police on all aspects of it without fear or favor. Please be reassured of that.
Of course, we will have a separate forum for that another day, right? Because today we want to keep it positive, Ranjit. And, when these incidents happen in the community, is it time for opening fast? The ice cream man is here already. We open now fast with dates, not with ice cream. So, Ranjit, what happens whenever we have these incidents in the city? The problem is it creates more segregation, more animosity, and it divides the community.
It does. Well, the thing is that, luckily I'm having a good boss, Mr. Yakub Ismail, who's my boss, and we all work together, trying to resolve all these issues which are there. Sometimes it could be some sort of misunderstanding. We're trying to bring each and every party together on the table so that, everybody can view their opinions and say what they want. And we listen to everyone.
Now, that was one initiative we discussed, the LTA. Mm-hmm. One of our second initiatives was to work with all the schools in the nearby vicinity, which primarily is Madni, Crown Hills, Judge Meadow, Moat, and Rashid. So predominantly these what we call in the Leicester East area. And what we were all deciding to do or proposing to do is to go to the schools with the professional businessmen from the LTA, to go there, spend 15 minutes in the assembly and tell a little story, an inspiring story that a 12-year-old, a 13-year-old, 14-year-old, 15-year-old, he will say, I want to be like that. I want to be as successful. We need entrepreneurs. We need the professional sectors as well. So we are increasing engagement with the community, with the schools at that age. And this year, we want to invite the constabulary also to join us with that initiative. So they already do work like that. And if we go together, we'll be stronger for it.
Brilliant, really brilliant initiative. And, at East Leicester, what...
See, one of the advertisers, they want their advert in quickly. They've just called in to say, put my ad on, Akil, put my ad on. I've paid money for it, And Akil, don't be under pressure. Do what Yakub does. He remains calm and he does things in good stead.
Just coming back to the point you were making, in a nutshell, was about youth engagement. Working with young people in the schools, and at East Leicester and across Leicestershire Police, what we have done is for each and every educational establishment, primary school or secondary school, we have a dedicated local officer assigned to that school. The school will know who that officer is, and what we encourage is that local officer to go in often and spend some social time in the grounds of the school, building relationships, but outside of social times, delivering talks, meaningful talks, helping young people build their lives in a better way and make smarter choices. But the opportunity to go in with the Leicester Traders Association, to do something jointly with you, to inspire children, to mentor, to coach, to support the young minds as they develop. Fantastic initiative, and we would be delighted to work with you guys on that.
If I may.
Yeah.
When I was in Kenya, I was a member of the Rotary clubs, and one of my main jobs was to organize, these kind of events with the local schools. So I used to carry a team of about, say, 20 professionals, like the doctors, engineers, and some of the business owners. And as a matter of fact, I was a businessman myself over there. I used to carry on the business of tailoring. And we used to go and give this kind of talks, to the children in secondary schools, just because what they basically need is some sort of guidance, that, what do I do after all levels or whatever, after the school finishes. And then when we talk to them about this kind of issues, then they know that, okay, I would like to go into a certain field, We need to give some guidance to the youth as well.
Absolutely. So all this is to do with time capital. So we're going to talk about this throughout the month. Time capital is all about giving your time. So right now, we're all under the strains of the financial situation in the whole country. There are upheavals happening across the world right this minute, in Yemen, in Gaza, in Ukraine, and so many countries, Afghanistan. The list is endless. Right now, as we speak, in 38 countries in the world, there is upheaval, right? So we have to now take into account that we have things to do here local. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely.
A lot of work to do.
A lot of work.
And a lot of this work requires you and your time.
It needs human capital. It needs people's time. The challenges of society and the challenges of our communities, and especially in supporting our young people, in supporting community cohesion, cannot be done by one single agency. It's not down to the police alone, or the city council, or the voluntary sector, or communities. Collectively, there's opportunity for us to come together, but it needs people to give up capital, to give up their time, to be involved in some of the voluntary work. There's some fantastic voluntary work going on out there. I know last year during the month of Ramadan, community members from Evington came out and were cleaning the road.
The Green Guardians.
The Green Guardians. They were picking up cigarette ends from the floor. They were picking up litter. They were making sure. And that's the sort of initiatives that, we want to work with such community groups or such groups, to deliver a service. But what happens, and the byproduct of all of this, and the theme behind today's show is engagement. it's better relationships. So if you're operating in a voluntary space, if you're doing any community work, any charity work, and if you think that Leicestershire Police would benefit from having a relationship from you, we certainly think we would. Please invite us, and I encourage that conversation.
Great, that is a good idea. Ranjit, how about we make a list of every asset is a community organization, right, that we can bring together. We also started last year what we call the diversity pipeline. And I got to tell you, honest truth, that it did not go down so well because there was an element of reluctance for people to understand the value of working together. So we picked 10 organizations, and out of 10, we had success with 4 of them, and 6 of them, we're still waiting to hear from them. So it is very difficult. It's not easy, Ranjit, to bring all these people, and they don't understand the concept of working together as a team.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that was number 2 initiative.
A great radio show today. Ramadan is an opportunity where we see, not just the Muslim community, we see all communities coming out, fundraising for, the disasters in Syria, in Turkey, in Malawi, the flooding, Ukraine and other places. We'll see all communities come out. And this is a great opportunity now for communities to work with one another, to work with agencies like us, to support, efforts abroad and locally.
Of course, there is somebody called Concept Design saying all the areas should have such initiatives, and somebody is saying Leicester Police have done really good job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is that one of your mates who's written that one in?
No idea.
Ranjit?
I've been covering this Evington Road, and most of the business owners, they know me quite well. I got no idea who could be.
Okay. Ranjit કીધું હશે કોઈને કે આજે અહીંયા મેસેજ મોકલજે આજે.
દોસ્તાર ઘણા છે.
So Ranjit, we're going to have some fun, you and I. We're going to speak in these 7 languages that you have put on the table today, and have a little bit of diversity, isn't it? So it would be absolutely wonderful. We're going to engage. I tell you, I'm going to give Ranjit a little bit of homework. One of the iftars he can organize, can't he?
Absolutely.
Right? Yep. You can bring together about 15 people from different faiths in the community and invite them here.
Yes.
And then we can get Ranjit to actually say a few words, stand up there and join us in this month of Ramadan.
Inshallah, we'll do it.
And he's good at it because he's done this kind of work in Mombasa where the communities are very, very well knitted together.
It is.
Right? That's one of the beautiful things about all the people who have come from East Africa. They were well connected with each other.
It is.
Right?
You're absolutely right.
When it was Diwali, you had the goodies. When it was Eid, you had the goodies. And when it was the Vaisakhi, so it does not matter what the festival was, everybody engaged.
Best of both over there. Best of both, I would say.
So Ranjit, when we came here, we were already an integrated human society, weren't we?
Our thinking was different. You see, we are quite, we had a good, community cohesion over there. So that's the reason why you see our thinking was something different than what some people be thinking right now. But ours, was different.
Yeah, what was the reason that we all came together there? We were also immigrants there in Africa. So when we all came together, we were all vulnerable, insecure people. So what do vulnerable, insecure people do is they come together, they eat together, they share together, they play cricket together, they play football together, and that is what builds the communities up. Right? So when we come here to England and we all go our separate ways, and we are 200,000 plus in the community as immigrants, we have to work very hard now, Ranjit, to get our younger people on board. When I say young, I'm telling you that we start with the 6-year-old right up to the 16-year-old. When they leave school, they're already set out to do good work in the community. So some of the work that we are undertaking in the schools, I will give credit for that, Brother Yakub, to the Judge Meadow School. When they came here to talk to us about culture capital, they had already put initiatives in place. And we then assisted them to set up a studio like this at their school, which has gone down really well, and we are working together. So from that, we developed more ideas that how can we work together and how can we help each other. So to go into a school and talk to the children about money management.
Brilliant.
Right? Things that school is not teaching. because it's not in their curriculum. But we as businessmen or members of the community, we've been there, we've seen the debt cycle, we've all been through it, and to go and share that with the children is going to be very, very fruitful for everyone.
Absolutely. Zed, if I can, for the listeners, just a couple of points from me in relation to Ramadan. As I was saying to you, I've designed a Ramadan plan with the Muslim community, and what that looks like is you will see us outside mosques, engaging, sharing crime prevention leaflets, and also we will be speaking to the management committees and ulama, talking about issues and how we can support one another. We've created an incident number for the volunteers that are supporting the mosques with people coming for prayers, with parking issues, so that if they have any issues, they can phone into this number, and then we will go out and support the volunteers. But also at key locations like Evington Road, Green Lane Road, Uppingham Road, London Road, you will see an increase in policing. So I've invested, police officers in the Ramadan period, especially in the evening. We've got extra officers who would have been doing other stuff, but they've been drafted in to support the Muslim community and other communities to have a safe, peaceful and blessed Ramadan. With that in mind, all I encourage as your local police commander is, and we see it every year, is a very neighbourly and very considerate and, a very patient Ramadan. Some of the roads, Evington Road, whilst, we will see lots of Muslim, people on the road partaking in the food and, some of the services on Evington Road. Some of the local residents in the side streets are not Muslim people, and, their young folk will be getting ready to go to bed for school, or they'll be getting up for work in the morning. All I ask is be considerate, be neighbourly, and especially when it comes to parking matters, outside mosques or places where there's Taraweeh places, Taraweeh prayers taking place, Evington Road and some key locations. Be very, very mindful of where you've parked. Make a conscious decision that you will not park on double yellows. You'll not park on the corners. You'll not park because, on the one hand, the month is about blessing and, that spiritual connection. But then if we are parking in a manner that's inconveniencing other people, that's causing harm to communities, then it counterbalances all the good that we're doing in Ramadan. So my appeal is a neighbourly Ramadan, a very considerate Ramadan. Just be mindful in relation to parking. Where you see your police officers, they are your police officers from your communities. Invite them into your homes, invite them into iftars, and get to know one of them. Thanks, Zed. I just wanted to share that with our listeners.
I think a very important point here on Evington Road, we have a particular problem exactly where we are at Radio Ramadan. We have an abundance of cars parking illegal, and this is got to stop because you got to think about the safety of all the people. People come out of the mosque from Masjid Omar, and we have so much crowd here during the month of Ramadan, so we need to behave, Ranjit, and these issues can be very, very annoying to the residents. As Brother Yakub said, some of them are not Muslim, they are non-Muslim, and they can't even get a place to park or even walk safely in the street. So the whole of the month we're going to be talking about safety and security. That is what is of paramount importance to every one of us. When our brothers and sisters, they go out, we the parents need to feel safe, that they are safe. If they are not safe, then we the parents are not going to be happy, are we?
Absolutely.
That our children are out there, and these are the lot of problems like this that we need to tackle together throughout the month. Yeah. So working together with the constabulary, I suggest all of you join us and let's make a difference together. That's what this month is got to be about, is make a difference together, Ranjit. So we're going to close very shortly. So Ranjit, if you'd like to say a few words before we close.
Well, I would like to wish everyone a blessed Ramadan. And like I said, if anybody wants to come and talk to us, would like to discuss anything, they're more than happy. I'm more than happy to see them at our Spin Hill station where I'm based. Like I said, I speak the languages. Any issues, if you'd like to talk to me, I'll be able to help them out.
Ranjit is your local neighbourhood community support officer for the Evington area. You're found regularly on Evington Road. You've just heard he speaks 7 different languages. If you do come across him on Evington Road, engage with him. And you never know, you might be one of the 15 he invites to the iftar that Zed is organising.
But in 2030, Evington, Spinney Hill Police Station is going to be a metaverse and avatar. So Ranjit is flicking his eyes. I'm going to explain that to him when we go offline. So, Brother Yakub, thank you for joining me today. We've had a wonderful 45 minutes and it's just flown by.
It's an absolute pleasure. Thank you for having me. I look forward to coming back on to join you on the radio program. To each and every one, I wish you a very blessed Ramadan.
Assalamu